Hey guys, this is Lauren from My Something Beautiful Life. Today I wanted to just do kind of a March planner update video. I did one of these on my blog last month. I almost said last year. Last month for February. And so I will link to that below too. I'll probably also do this on my blog, just do a little overview. But I thought it'd be fun to do it on YouTube too, and just kind of give you an idea of how my planners have changed since my initial setup at the beginning of the year, and kind of just show you how I'm using some of them. And if you like this kind of video, let me know in the comments if this is something that you'd like to see more regularly. I'm kind of thinking this would be fun to see throughout the year. I feel like people will show their setup at the beginning of the year, and then I know this isn't just me because I've seen multiple people talking about this recently. But somewhere in January and February, we all kind of start rethinking what we set up at the beginning. And I think it starts to change because we start going through what we thought would work and it turns into what will actually work. And I think this is a really important thing, and it happens to me every single year. And I know I've seen other people talking about it happening recently, and so I know it's not just me. So if you feel like your planners aren't working for some reason, try to figure out what it is about them that doesn't work and then fix that spot, because it's so easy to be like, oh, this isn't working, I need a new planner. And that's not usually the case, as much as I'm an advocate for new planners, because I love getting new planners and I love trying them all out and testing them, and they're so much fun. But in the long run, you have to use what actually works. And so I'm going to go through and just kind of explain what I've been struggling with, what is working, and what I'm doing about it. But I feel like this is a continuous work in progress. This isn't like planning in general. Having a planning system, it's always changing. Our lives are always changing. Our needs are changing. And so our planners need to change with it and how we do it. And so if you just find that something's not working, it's okay to change it. You don't have to stick to something for a whole year just because your planner tells you do. Planning is supposed to work for us, not just make life more chaotic. So figure out how to make your planner work for you. All right, with that being said, let's just jump in. I'm going to move these out of the way and then we'll talk about them one at a time. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about, this is my daily planner. This is an Erin Condren Daily Duo. I love this new Valentine's Day cover. I think it's super cute. I actually put it on after Valentine's Day just because I wanted to use it for the rest of February. I tend to change my planner covers every month. I like the variety. I like that it just feels like a new planner, and it actually kind of helps me get over my planner boredom where I feel like I need a new planner, and I probably really don't because what I'm using works. I just get bored. And so switching up my cover usually will help with that. So this is the cover I have for now. I'll probably change it when March starts. We're a few days away from that right now. So this daily planner, this is something that is still definitely working for me. In fact, I've been toying with the idea of switching to other daily planners, and I've just decided that this really is the layout that I like the best. I think the only layout I like better than the Daily Duo is the Daily Petite Planner. I love that layout, but I also love the coil. And so I'll probably stick with the Daily Duo just because of the coil, but I do absolutely love the daily layout in the Petite Planners. So I wanted to kind of give you a glimpse of how I'm using it. This is my actual spread from today, and it's not pretty, it's messy. I have two different colors of ink, which drives me crazy, but my black ink pen ran out and I didn't have another one nearby, but I did have a blue one. So I used that. I should just put new ink in my pens. I buy ink refills for pens instead of buying new pens. I don't know how many people do that, but they're much cheaper, and I know which pens I like, and I use them over and over again. In fact, I think I have one here. Yep, here it is. This is the pen I will always talk about because I love the Energel pens. You can see it even looks all worn out because I use these pens forever. I just buy the refills on Amazon. You can buy them in packs of like 10 or something, and I just stick new refills in the pens when they run out. And I love them. I can get the exact kind I want. So like this is the 0.7 needle tip in black, and it's my favorite. The Pentel Energel, they are my favorite gel pen. I have a lot of favorite pens, but these are the ones I will consistently use just in my normal planning. Okay, the first thing I want to point out is that I will rarely use the schedule for actual scheduling. Sometimes I do, but I don't have very many items in my day that are scheduled. And so generally I will just use this as extra note space. So right here, I have a list of things that I want to do for the like a monthly reset for March. So I just started jotting those down. Over here is like my normal to-do list. And I don't write down things that I will necessarily do. It's not like these are the things that have to get done this day. I am such a list maker, and I have to get things out of my head, otherwise I forget them, and it stresses me out that I might forget them. And so I write down whatever I think of that I might want to get done that day. And then things that don't get done, kind of like in the bullet journal system, I'll migrate them to other days, or I'll migrate them to my main list. Something like that. But I write down a lot of things that I never actually do. So yeah, this is just my brain dump to-do list for the day, and I actually wrote this out last night. But that's generally how I use these pages. This space down here, if there's anything noteworthy, that's usually where I'll put it. I'll put holidays there sometimes, like holidays, events, birthdays, things like that. Or if I just think of a random note that I want to write down, sometimes that will go down there. Sometimes it stays blank. Sometimes I decorate it. It all just depends. It's just kind of a free space. The last thing I have on this page is my little habit tracker sticky note. These are from Moxie Life, and I absolutely love them. I love that I can move it from day to day and keep track of my habits. Because if I were to have it like on my monthly spread or something, I never go back and look at it. But if I have it right here on my day, it's like it's part of my to-do list, and I'm much better at getting things done. I also have a mini snap-in bookmark from Erin Condren, and if you've watched me for half a second, you know I'm obsessed with these, and I probably actually have like 100 of them now because I buy tons of them. I love them. And so I have one of those. This sticky note is from Erin Condren also, but it's not something that's for sale. It was a free gift with purchase from, I don't even know when, from something a while ago. Maybe it was Black Friday. I think it might have been Black Friday. Anyway, I love this. Again, because it's a sticky note, I can move it from day to day. I've been using this one for, I think I've actually been using it since the beginning of the year. I think I put it in. I haven't used a second one. So as long as I've been doing this system, this is the only one I've used so far. And when it gets down to the bottom, then I'll just replace it out with a new one. But I just put like the main tasks that I'm trying to remember to get done on here, and then I can just keep moving it. And then again, I don't forget about them, and it doesn't stress me out because they're written down. So I love having this in here. Another thing that I absolutely love about this sticky note, by the way, it's still sticky. Probably because this is actually a Post-it note branded sticky note. So like most of the Erin Condren sticky notes, grab this one. So like these ones, these are not Post-it brand. And I'm kind of particular about my sticky notes. Those ones work fine. In fact, those ones are much better than some of the older ones that they used to use. I like the new ones much better. But this one's Post-it note brand, and so I love it. And you can see, like, I've been using this for almost 2 months now, and it still is totally sticky and works. And so I love having this sticky note. So again, I have a few notes for the next day, and I'll go over more how I plan in this when I talk about my weekly one. Essentially, after I do my weekly plan, I just transfer things over to my daily that need to be there. But for the most part, that's how I'm using the daily. And so that's working really well for me. I can have all my lists that I need, and I'm really loving it. Oh, another thing that I do, this calendar, I do it really casually, and I like to color code. I just picked a few different things that I knew were going on and picked a random color for it. Like this is January's. I don't think I've color coded anything in February yet. And I probably won't since it's almost the end of the month. But this is what I did for January, and I do really like highlighting the events. For color coding, it helps me to understand my monthly calendar a lot better. So that's my daily planner. Okay, so next let's talk about my weekly planner. So if you remember from my video where I talked about my 2022 planners, originally I coiled together the Erin Condren Life Planner with the Moxie Life Planner. And I just got the 6-month undated inserts from Moxie Life, and I trimmed them down, and I have a video showing how I coiled them and the issues I had coiling them together and all of that. Well, I hated it. And I don't know what it is. I can't just combine planners. Apparently I just am incapable of having 2 planners in the same book. For whatever reason, that just did not work for me. So I separated them again. So this is my full Erin Condren Life Planner, the full 12 months of it. I put all the other months back in that I had taken out when I did the Moxie Life. And then I recoiled the Moxie Life into its own book. You can see how thick it is. I mean, it's about as thick as the year of Erin Condren. And this is only 6 months. Because it was already the same size as Erin Condren, I could use an Erin Condren cover on it. And so that worked out really well. So basically these two planners are separated now. I talked about that a little bit in my February update on the blog, but now you can see it in video. They are two separate planners. I still love this vegan leather cover. I think it's so pretty, especially with the black coil. I'm obsessed with it. So inside of here, let's see. Okay, we'll take that one out of the way for a sec. So in here, I put some vinyl on here with a quote that I love. I have a little pouch here that has stamps in it. It has my coupons. It has this little pressed flower from my nephew. And I have my weather stickers and some other flower stickers back here. I have a ruler, the Erin Condren snap-in rulers, which I love these. And I'm always needing them for straight lines. So I just coil one right in the beginning, or I snap one into the beginning of it so that I have it there. And then I also have my little sticky notes, so if I need to pre-plan something, I can just put it on a sticky note and stick it in the month, and then it's there when I need it. The one thing I didn't put back in was the cover page, and that's partially because I just really loved how pretty this looked with the floral vellum and then this quote page. I just liked that being at the beginning. So I just left that there. And I don't think I've done anything with this yet. I don't know if I will. I also just don't do too much with my monthly calendar. I put some notes on it, but mainly this one is the one that I use. This is where I just keep all my monthly plans. Okay, so after the monthly calendar, you can see here there's 2 lined pages. Obviously I haven't used them this month, but if you turn the page again, then you can see this normal page. This is the one that usually comes after the monthly calendar with the 1 line page. When I recoiled them, I put an extra note page in. And that's just because there are some things that I want to track monthly that I just needed more space for. So I haven't quite set up my system for that yet, and so that's why there's nothing on here yet. But that's why I have a monthly note or an extra note page between each month. And I did that before when I combined it with the Moxie Life. And so then when I separated them, I did add it to the rest of the months in the back of the year too. The Erin Condren Life Planner, this is the one that I'm using as my main weekly planner. Again, I have a little snap-in bookmark here, and then this is my weekly spread. So I separate this little section here. And the reason why I did that was simply because it was driving me nuts that these lines were shorter than these lines. So if I made like a to-do list on the day, I wanted them to all line up in a row. I didn't want it to be like a few here and then jump over here. And I also didn't want to start my to-do list here because then I would just lose space. So I decided to draw the little dotted line. And so this became my to-do list space for just anything that I think of for that day. Again, this is when I'm pre-planning. I don't daily plan in this one, and I'll explain that in a minute too. But so anyway, as I'm planning out my week, and so if there's things that I want to put specifically on a day, then I can just put it in this section here. And then over here, I use more chore-like things that repeat. So Tuesday is usually our errands day. Wednesday, I do what I call a weekly home blessing, which is a cleaning thing. And just things like that. Like I put the amazing race here. So these are things that like repeat week after week. These are things like, oh, this Tuesday, it was Tuesday because it was 2/22/22. So things that are unique to that day I put here. And usually if it's like a holiday thing, I put it on the top line. So you can see here I skipped a line, and because that's like my holiday line. And then this space over here is where I write my meal plan for dinner. So I do dinner on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I like recording the meals that we have just for ideas for later. That's why I put them there. So they could be something that was planned ahead, like this was planned ahead. But then sometimes I'll go back and I'll just write what we actually did. And then I have my little weather up here. We had some rain this week, which has been lovely. We don't get rain very much. I live in Southern California, in case anybody doesn't know. But we don't get a whole lot of rain here. And usually when we do, it's like this time of year. It's during winter. Rain is our winter. So as you can see, this doesn't actually have a lot on it. I don't plan a whole lot on the weeks, but when there's things here, then that's when I will transfer them over into my daily planner. But I've just found that I really like looking at the whole week at a glance. It just helps me to be able to plan out what I'm doing. When I only see things one day at a time, I get very like tunnel vision about it. And so having it all on a week just gives me a better idea of what's going on. So that's basically what I do. I just pre-plan in my weekly planner and then I transfer it over to my daily. Now, since I have a second weekly planner, which is the Moxie Life, I figured I'd show you a little bit about how I'm using this one too. The thing that I love about the Moxie Life is the goal setting system. What I really want to try to figure out, and I just haven't been able to figure out how to do it yet, is to combine my weekly plans with my goals and to actually schedule out the things on my goal list, things that aren't like a specific day. So like in my daily, I have this habit tracker sticky note. And so those are the things that are every day. So those are easy to schedule because I do them every day. But the things that are like one-time tasks, I have a hard time figuring out where to schedule them because like I said, I don't have a lot of appointments. And so it's not like I have a lot of things I need to work around. I just have a lot of little things that can be done at any time. So it's really hard to schedule my day and it's hard to schedule in when to do my goal tasks. But my goal is to actually combine my goals with my weekly planner. So what I've been doing in this one, for the monthly calendar, so again, this was undated, so I added the February and I added the little date stickers. But I've been using this as somewhat of a habit tracker, and I haven't been very good at keeping it up to date since there's nothing on the past 2 weeks. It's not that I haven't done it, I just haven't updated it. But I do have this information, and so I just need to go back and fill it in. And I'm going to show you in March because I don't want to actually share my goals right now. So you have the monthly goals, which I do that, and then you have the weekly goals. So I do my weekly goals in here, and then I can fill out the weekly spread. Okay, and so then this will give you a good idea of how I've been kind of doing it. This is an older spread, but this is kind of how I've been trying to track my goals in here. And it's mostly just the habits. And I have a blog post where I talked about how I redid my goals. So you can see I only have the 4 categories here. These are the 4 categories I'm mostly working on. I will do a few things in the other ones, like if something comes up that I want to do and it fits in one of the other categories, then I'll throw it in there. But I have realized that these 4 categories are the ones that are my priority right now. And so these are the ones that I'm tracking in here. And so this really is just a work in progress. I'm not quite sure how I'm using this yet and how I'm using it in conjunction with this one. It's still something I'm trying to figure out, but I do still have both planners, and so far it has been working a lot better this way to keep them separated. This one being more specifically targeted towards my goals and this one being more targeted towards my plans. My challenge now is just trying to figure out how to combine them. So anyway, that's my weekly planners and my daily planner and how they work together. And I promise the other planners I have, they're not quite as complicated, so hopefully these ones will go much faster. So this is my Powersheets goal planner. I am still using this even with the Moxie. The things that I really love about Powersheets are like the pre-planning and the brainstorming and things like that you don't have in the Moxie Life planner. And so I especially love Powersheets for that. So here's the calendar. I have never used the calendar. Here's a monthly brainstorm. Oh, I didn't even talk about the first page and that was on it. So this is like the pre-planning where you just kind of think about what's going on for the month. And then you have the brainstorming goals. So I love that. But then after that, what I will usually do is go set the goals in my Moxie Life after I've done the brainstorm. And then I come back and I will write them on my tending list. And then here's the review for the end of the month. I use this one very little. I don't reference it throughout the month, but that is how I'm using it. It's mostly for the reflection type pages. The next planner I want to show you, this is my content planner. This one, again, this is something I've been using for years and it's still working fantastic. Essentially what it is, okay, so this is the Erin Condren monthly planner. So you get a monthly calendar, You get this planning page after it, and then you just get a bunch of note pages for each month. And this is just the best thing I found for my blog and YouTube and anything like that. I actually have a few different blogs that I'm working on, and so this just gives me the freedom to work on them however I need to. So I can't even really tell you, like, this is consistently how I use it, because it changes. The pages I do use consistently, this one I use for my content. So I put the blog posts and YouTube videos that I'm working on up here, and then the second half I put in ideas that I have for future content. The only thing that stays pretty consistent about this page is that right here is where I track my stats. Other than that, it's pretty much like a free-for-all. Oh, I do put my expenses and income on this page. And then usually I'll have this page as like a to-do list, but then it's just note space for whatever comes up, whatever I need to work on, anything that's on my mind, it just goes on the rest of the note pages. So there's really not even much to show or tell, but that's basically how I use it. And then the last planner is my budget and finance planner. And I just filmed a walkthrough of this, so I'm not going to go into it in too much detail about how I use it, but I'm still using this. I love it. It's perfect. I love it in the 3-ring binder. It makes it so easy to customize, and this one's probably not changing soon. Something drastic would have to happen for me to change how I'm budgeting, because I just love this and it's just what I need. Those are pretty much the planners that I'm using right now. I do have a couple petite planners that I use on and off. I think the regular one I have is just the 18-month petite planner. It just has like the monthly calendars and then some note pages. I use that for work, but for the most part, like, these are my main planners. So anyway, that's just an update for the month. I know this was kind of all over the place, so I hope it made sense and I hope you enjoyed it. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.